We might get sued by the Bodger and Badger company in the process, but
the Bodger and Badger
the Bodger and
company.
Badger Corporation.
Bodger and Badger LLC.
Hello, welcome to episode 56 of Podemup. Later on we will definitely not be objecting to a bit of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney in the book club. Before that though, we've got some differing opinions in our review of Sonic Superstars, plus Mario Wonder, an incoming indie, and more. Hello everybody, welcome to episode 56 of the Podemup podcast. I'm Ollie. Joining me is Mr. Tibbs. Hello, Mr. Tibbs.
Hello, I am Mr. Tibbs.
Hi, we are talking about Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney later on the DS and other more recent platforms. But in the meantime, Tibbs, what have you been playing?
Quite a few things, actually.
That's good. Good, I'm glad. That'll fill up the show a bit.
Why, have you not been playing much?
No, not really.
Oh.
Sorry.
Okay.
We've been playing the book club. I've been playing Sonic Superstars, and that's about it.
Okay.
But, yeah, you go on then. What have you been playing?
Well, I've been playing, oddly, it's not a game, the theme tune to Bodger and Badger over and over again in my head. And I don't know why.
I didn't expect you to say that. No,
I know. I don't know where it's come from. I don't know why it's there.
It's one of those things, once it gets in your head, anyone listening now, that's in your head now, isn't it?
Yeah, well, anyone from the UK of a certain age, they'll hear Bodger and Badger, and that's it. Bam, it's in there.
It's in there. It's not coming out for hours. Yeah.
No, and I've just been randomly singing it.
Okay, good.
So I don't know if that counts towards.
Not really, but
playing.
it's killed in a minute or so it's all good.
Yeah. I've been playing. I played Sonic Superstars.
Yeah. Should we talk about that now, or do you want to talk about that later?
Let's talk about that in a bit.
Okay.
I've also played WWE 2K23.
Okay. The latest.
Because that came in the latest Humble Bundle thing.
Oh, did it? Okay, yeah, cool.
It's all right.
Yeah.
It's a bit clunky. It's a bit. All the wrestlers I know, you need to unlock, so. It's a bit annoying. You go to the menu and it's like, I'll play as The Rock. Oh no, you've got to unlock him. Undertaker, got to unlock him.
Yeah.
Shawn Michaels, got to unlock him. So, and it's all these new people on there. I don't know where we're at. Don't know who any of them are.
Well, no, I suppose. I suppose it's not really their fault, is it? Because that's just whoever's currently in it. Anyone who does know them, they'll be a bit annoyed if you had to unlock them. Well, if you had to unlock them, they'd be a bit annoyed, wouldn't they?
Oh yeah, exactly.
So it's all fair, I suppose. But it's a bit clunky then.
It's a bit clunky. It's quite good. I mean, I've had a reasonable amount of fun with it. I've only played it for about an hour or two so far, but there'll be like bits where I don't really understand how the combat works. Like you'll be fighting, you got your grapples, you got your strikes and things like that. Every now and then, when the computer tries to grapple you or strike you, it will come up like a little button prompt above your head, and if you hit it at the right time, then you'll either dodge it or reverse it or something like that. But there doesn't seem to be any consistent method of it coming up. Sometimes there'll be a move, you're sat there ready to reverse it, you can see it coming a mile off, and you're ready to reverse it, and it doesn't give you the prompt. Like sometimes it just decides, nah, you're not You're not getting through. You're not getting past that. I'm landing this here. It's not even going to give you the chance.
Okay.
And I don't really understand that.
Right.
Bit of it. And there'll be other bits like, I don't know. It's this bits where it's a bit janky. Like one of the characters who is unlocked, I think he's unlocked. I might have unlocked him anyway. But is Randy Orton. I thought, okay, plays Randy Orton. Because I know him. He's good. He's a good one. And obviously, you fight for a bit. You go to do the RKO, and sometimes. Like, say you're in the corner of the ring towards the turnbuckle. If you try to do the RKO there, he'll sort of jump in the air to do it, and then the two characters will sort of glide towards the centre of the ring, and they will land the RKO in the centre of the ring. And it's just a bit janky, but it's not bad. It's not bad. I mean,
you can almost see the logic there. Like, it's not going to work in this position, so we have to move them in the middle, but. I'm sure there's a more graceful way of doing it.
There must be a more graceful way of doing it. And one of the characters I did unlock was I unlocked the Rock, and I went to do the People's Elbow, but I can't remember who I was fighting, but it was lying sort of diagonal. He wasn't like in the centre of the ring. It was like lying diagonal.
Okay, yeah.
And it started the animation to do it, and then it cut. When the camera cut, it was just they magically positioned themselves in the centre of the ring.
Yeah,
it's just little things like that. It sort of breaks the immersion a bit, but I mean, it's not bad. I'm glad I didn't pay full price for it. I'd have been a bit annoyed if I paid full price for it because it's like loaded with like downloadable content and stuff.
Of course,
it's like all these character packs you got to buy, and I just got the basic thing, and I'm not interested in getting any DLC.
They can't. When was the last time you heard of a game just being released and that was it? Everything's in there.
I can't remember, honestly. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, no.
It's ridiculous. These announced recently they're gonna do the first trailer for Grand Theft Auto 6 coming out in December. Mm-hmm. And there was something going around Twitter. I didn't look into it because honestly I'm not really that interested in it. But they said apparently the disclaimer here: this could be nonsense. It could be just a made-up thing on the internet. But someone said and this article was going around Twitter that apparently not all the cars in GTA 6 will be easy to steal. The more expensive sports cars and modern cars, you'll need to get special tools to sort of hack them and get into them.
Right.
The first thing I thought was, you're going to be able to buy those with microtransactions.
Yeah.
It's such a different. I think Grand Theft Auto Online ruined a lot of things because they realised people will just pay, just pay and pay and pay and pay.
Yes.
And just keep paying. So yeah, I played that. I played Super Mario Wonder.
Yeah. Cool.
It's so good.
Is it? Brilliant.
It's so good. It's lovely. I mean, obviously, Elephant Mario is not lovely.
No, we've been through this a couple of times now, haven't we? It's not good. Yeah,
it's not good. But yeah, it's such a great game. It's so inventive.
Does it feel like new?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah,
okay.
It really does. Because I mean, pretty much everything since New Super Mario Brothers, all the 2D ones, like since New Super Mario Brothers on the DS, they've all felt pretty much like the same game.
Effectively, yeah.
Just like level packs for the same game, essentially.
Pretty much, yeah.
Which is fine. I'm not saying that's that, but it's nice to have something that's actually putting a fresh spin on things.
Yeah.
And it's just really weird. It's weird in a good way. So you collect you've got to collect these wonder seeds. Which are basically just a stand-in for stars. But in every level, there's a wonder flower hidden as well. And if you pick up the wonder flower, just all kind of weird things happen. Like you'll turn into a Goomba. There's a level where there's these creatures, I can't remember what they're called, these little monsters, and they just eat anything that's in front of them. So if it's Mario or an enemy or anything, if it sees it, it'll run towards it and gobble it up. And you get the wonder flower on this level, and Mario turns into a little Goomba with a little Mario hat on, and it's kind of like a very light stealth game, you've got like hide behind bushes, wait for these creatures to pass, and then go to the next bush, wait for the creature to pass.
Cool. Okay.
And when you're a Goomba, you can't jump, so you've got to navigate your way around without being spotted by these little creatures. And there's so many little inventive things in there like that. I loved it. I really loved it, except when I completed it. Because I completed all the main worlds, and then they've got like the special world when for all the extra hard levels after you've finished the game.
Yeah.
There's a level on there. I can't remember what it is. It's called Jump, 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 I think, and it's basically this little rhythm will play, and the level will, like the platforms that you need to jump and wall jump off of, they appear sequentially in time with the music. So it'll go like boom, 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 and the 3 platforms will appear, and then the next 3 notes, the platforms will disappear. So you've got to make your way across the level flawlessly in time with the music. It's oh god, I must have done it 90 times. I must have done it 90 times, and I still haven't done it. And I got right up to the end, and I was getting so angry with it, because it's one of those things. It's one of, like, you get frustrating games, and you get levels where you just get really frustrated with it. But it's got that thing where it feels so doable.
Yeah, they're the really worst, aren't they? You feel like you're just the next go, I'll do it. The next go, I'll do it, and then
exactly. It's not like one of these things where you think, "Oh, they've made this deliberately hard. There's no way I could do this." Yeah. It's so doable, and you get right up to the end, and then you bugger it up, and it drove me absolutely spare. So I turned it off after that for a while, to be honest, and I haven't got back to it since. But the main game, I really loved. It's very much a skill issue with me, not having the rhythm to do it.
I haven't picked it up myself yet, but we will get around to it eventually, I think.
Yeah, you got to. It's so good. There's like these little musical levels where all the piranha plants are singing like a little opera. Oh, it's great. I loved it.
Lovely. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what else did I play? So I played that. I played. I don't know if I mentioned it last time. I mentioned it that I was playing Red Dead Redemption, I think.
Oh, yeah, you did, yes.
I finished that. That was alright.
Mm-hmm. Had you played that before? I can't remember.
No.
You hadn't?
No.
Okay.
Well, I played it, but I'd never completed it.
Okay.
So like my first time playing it through to completion. I knew how it ended anyway, because it's been spoiled like a million times over the years. But it was good. It was good. Okay. I think that there is more that I've played, but I didn't prepare my notes properly, so I don't know.
Okay.
There's going to be something I'm going to remember it, and I'm going to oh yeah, I also played,
You do tend to do that a lot, like halfway through saying, oh yeah.
I do.
Also played.
I've never been good with notes. I make notes and then I forget to put something in the notes. I don't know how unless I'm doing notes as I go along through my daily life.
Yeah, that is the tricky thing.
That's the trouble.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, sometimes like halfway through the month, I'll start up my text file of notes and just put something in before I forget about it, like a news item or something.
Yeah, and sometimes I put things in there. I got a note that I put a note on my little notepad: steering wheel. I don't know what that was about. I don't know. I've honestly got no idea why I wrote that. It made sense at the time, but I've got no idea. Okay,
that'll come back to you as well.
Yeah,
halfway through Phoenix Wright, steering wheel. Yes.
Steering wheel. Yeah. No idea. I've not played. I played a bit of Forza Horizon, but not with the steering wheel. So I've honestly got no idea.
That's weird.
But it meant something at the time.
Okay. Cool. Perhaps we'll uncover that later.
Yeah.
Okay. So Sonic Superstars then.
Yes.
Yeah. So I really enjoyed it. It was just happy to play an original Sonic game for once that didn't just have loads of throwback levels and levels that we've seen before and ideas that we've seen before. You know, it's just, I mean, a lot of them are sort of fairly common tropes. There's a desert level and a water level, but I generally felt that they all had stuff going for them that was their own, unique things, unique enemies, unique gimmicks, structures, things like that. So yeah, it's just really nice to just play something new for a change. I felt like it kind of fits in quite well with how the old games are structured. Like, if I wanted to give the full Zone Zero treatment to this game, I could probably it would all fit in with the way I used to do that quite well. Yeah. So the part of my brain that enjoys that, found that really satisfying. I think I like the physics were spot on just felt right, So what were your thoughts on it?
I don't know if I liked it very much.
Really?
Gotta be honest.
In general?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, I don't know why. Well, do you know that meme that like the standard meme template? We're going back to wrestling again, where it's Vince McMahon taking off the mask and saying, "It was me all along, Austin." Yeah. I got this image in my head of like pulling the mask off, and it's, the mask is Sonic Superstars, and pulling the mask off, and it's Sonic 4 underneath. it was me all along. But
I think it's a lot better than Sonic 4.
It's a lot better than Sonic 4, but I think there's a lot of... it's not just the music, because everyone's going to point out the music.
Yeah.
And there is definitely some awful Sonic 4 music in there.
Yeah.
There's some great stuff, but there's some...
It's such an inconsistent soundtrack.
Yeah. But there's more than that. It feels like there's some... Like underneath, if you just brushed off the top of it, you'd find a little Sonic 4 going through it. It's completely inconsequential, but this is the kind of thing I mean. I don't know what level it is. There's big strawberries in cages, or like a cage with a big fruit.
Oh,
in it.
yeah, the fruit level, yeah.
Yeah. That just feels like such a Sonic 4 thing. I don't know why. Just aesthetically, it's such a Sonic 4 thing. There's just a fruit in a cage for no reason, and like the way the sort of level designs with just random death drops. And
I didn't find too many of those, to be honest. I thought it was quite good for death drops.
Too many, but I don't know. There's just certain things. It just. Okay. I feel there's a lot of Sonic 4 DNA in there. But what I did love, I love the Badniks.
Yeah.
I really love to see the Badniks come back, because that's been a big thing that I wanted to come back for a long time.
Yeah, there's old ones and new ones as well.
Yeah.
Which is really nice, yeah.
Yeah, they're really good. I like the graphical style for the most part. The character models themselves, I'm not sure, but
I don't like Knuckles as one. I got to say, I'm happy with the other three, but Knuckles doesn't look right for some reason.
Yeah, Knuckles doesn't. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, there's something a bit odd
about his
about
face,
the models.
something about his head, the way he walks, something about that. Yeah, not quite right.
Yeah, I thought his glide felt different as well.
Yeah, maybe.
Just something a bit odd with Knuckles there.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I say, some of the music is fantastic. I think it was T. Lopes who did some of it.
T. Lopes did some of the earlier ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, and his stuff is great. I thought initially it was a combination of T. Lopes and Jun Sonoy, who is a long-term sort of Sonic composer, and he's the one who did the Sonic 4, the sort of fake Mega Drive sound of Sonic 4, and there's a lot of that in here. But if you look at the credits, he's the music director, and there's actually loads of composers in this.
Oh, okay. I was going to say I didn't know who composed what, so I just assumed that all the good ones were T. Lopes and all the bad ones were everyone else.
That's kind of what I assumed as well. I thought all the bad ones were Jun Sonoy, but according to the credits, he didn't actually do. Well, if it says music director, but he clearly hasn't done a very good job of it, because it's all like it's almost as if all the composers went away and said, "Okay, I'll do this my way, and I'll do this my way," and they all came together, and they didn't sound anything like each other.
Yeah.
Like you play games, and obviously there's loads of composers involved, but they somehow all managed to make it sound consistent. Like you wouldn't be able to pick out he did this and he did this, but you can clearly do that here. Because
it sounds like they're from different games.
It really, really does, and within the same level sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's just what's happened there. Like Sonic music is normally so good and so consistent.
Yeah.
And here it's so annoying, because there's even in the bad songs, there's some good melodies in there.
Oh, definitely. I watched. I can't remember who it was. It was a YouTube channel. It was either Digital Foundry or Some Call Me Johnny. It was one of those two, I think. But they showcased some of the PC mods that replaced the music with fan-made versions of the same songs.
Yeah,
it makes such a difference.
Oh yeah, it does. Yeah. I mean,
it makes such a difference. The melodies themselves and the compositions themselves aren't the problem a lot
No.
of times. It's just the way it sounds.
It's also, some of them are very repetitive as well. Like, they could do with being a lot longer, a lot more bits to them. Like, some of them you'll be playing them and think, when is this tune going to kick in and get to the good bits? You know, historically, you think of tracks like Flying Battery and Hydra City. They all build up to this amazing bit at the end, this sort of 10, 20-second bit where it's just kick-ass. But these songs sort of get that build up, and then they just loop back around again, and they don't get there, and it's so frustrating.
Yeah. I can't remember, what was the B level, the Golden Capital?
The Golden Capital, yeah.
Golden Capital. I had to mute it.
Yeah, you said on Twitter.
I just couldn't stand it. I just had to play it on mute. I've never played a Sonic game on mute.
No, it's just unheard of. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, again, I've played that level. I'll play one of that level today, funnily enough. And again, the tune isn't bad. It's just the way it's done is just a bit too much. You need a break from it. Like, it's just, I'm convinced, even though it doesn't say, I'm convinced Jun Sonoy did those Mega Drive ones because they sound just like him. He loves using those Sonic 1 and 2 drums and just going all the time.
Yeah.
And they just, stop doing it, man. Stop doing it.
But the thing is, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but he did some of the music on Sonic and Knuckles, or Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
His first game, he did some of the Sonic 3 stuff. I think it was with his first game. He did, I think, almost everything on Sonic Adventure and Adventure 2. You know, he's been a series regular since.
Yeah.
So he knows what he's doing, and you can do a good tune. It's just, I don't know what he's thinking. He must have heard some feedback, because no one liked the music in Sonic 4.
No one liked it, no.
Did no one feed this back to him? Because he's clearly done exactly the same approach. There is no difference in his approach with these ones compared to the Sonic 4 ones. They sound like they could be in that game.
Yeah, absolutely. If you told me they were from Sonic, if I hadn't played it, and
if
you
they
played me all of those, I'd say, that's from Sonic 4.
Well, that was confusing. In initial trailers and things, they had stand-in music for the Speed Jungle level. And they literally took a track from Sonic 4 and put it in there. But you also heard some of the boss music, which is the same style. So it's very confusing. Like, is this unused Sonic 4 music that they've just put in? I genuinely thought that was the case. I thought that can't be the final music, but it was.
Yeah, I said that on Twitter as well in a more sarcastic, roundabout way. But basically, it felt like offcuts from Sonic 4 that they've just dropped in places. Could it be a placeholder thing? Could it be like they ran out of development time?
I heard that they were working on this game at the same time as Frontiers, and they've held it back for a year so that Frontiers has the time in the spotlight, and then this game has it this year. A bit like with Sonic 2 and Sonic CD. So, if so, then they've had an awful lot of time to get this right. But my one ray of hope is the fact that they haven't yet released this soundtrack on Spotify and etc. like they normally do almost immediately. So are they at the background thinking this isn't good enough, let's release a patch and
quietly patch out all the bad music. All
the bad music. I think I saw a joke the other day saying they'd done that, but they took out the good music and replaced it with Sonic 4 music. We fixed it.
You put out the wrong patch.
Oh no! But it's clutching at straws a little bit. I don't think they're going to do it, but they can't be happy with it, surely. It just doesn't make sense when you play one act that sounds one way and one act that sounds completely different.
Yeah. I mean, if it was any other aspect of the game, it would be, imagine playing, one zone and the next zone is in a completely different graphical style for absolutely no reason.
Yeah.
Or it's suddenly a racing game for no reason.
Yeah.
It's like that. It's jarring.
It is, yeah. And you may people who not that familiar with Sonic may be saying, okay, what's the big deal? But Sonic music is so important to the gameplay experience, in my opinion. You can have a great level, you can have great mechanics, but if it doesn't have good music, you're not going to necessarily want to keep coming back to it. Like, sometimes I go back and play levels just because I love the music and the way the action melds with it. It's so important.
And it contributes so much to the atmosphere of the level. I mean, that's part of the complaint people had, with the replaced music in Sonic 3. It wasn't just because they liked the old tunes. It was because changing those tunes completely changed the feel of the level.
Oh, it does. I mean, the feel take Carnival Night Zone, the feel of that sort of spooky, creepy original compared to the more sort of bouncy and colourful Carnival, that totally changes the feel of the level completely.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a very important aspect of the game, and for them to, and it's something that the series is known for. So it baffles me how that slipped through. It's not a bad game though. It isn't a bad game. It's just it's not what I wanted it to be. I think that's the problem.
Yeah, no, I know.
I wanted Sonic Mania 2.
It's funny. None of us knew where you were going with that one. We haven't heard you say that before at all. That's a complete surprise to me.
Listen, if I say it enough, maybe one day someone will
Maybe
listen.
one day it'll happen.
Maybe one day.
Yeah.
But no, I thought maybe they're going to do Sonic Mania 2, but with a modern lick of paint, because Sonic Team have got this bee in their bonnet about reinventing the game every single time they put out a new one. They've got to do something different. They can't. They're the polar opposite of Nintendo, where we were just saying that Mario basically just put out the same game for 15 years.
Yeah.
Sonic are the complete opposite. They just put out different one.
They do have a thing where they feel like they has to have something special about it. I mean, I get it. There's a certain USP. There's a marketing thing behind it.
Yeah.
I do understand, but
they never stick with an idea long enough to
that's the problem. They'll go with an idea and it'll have some interesting bits, but not so interesting bits. They never then go back and say, okay, we'll work on it. They just come up with okay, let's try this then. Let's try a different idea. Yeah.
Speaking of ideas, what did you think about the Chaos powers?
They're a bit of a non-thing for me.
Yeah.
I didn't really use them.
I never used them.
No. I'm still pretty sure I haven't used all of them at all. Some of them I've tried, but. Yeah, they're there. I'm kind of glad that they didn't force them upon you, a bit more like the Wisps.
Yeah.
But they're there. They're fine. I could take them or leave them. I don't really use them.
It would have been nice. I mean, there probably are. Like I say, I've played the game, but I didn't keep going back to it because I wasn't having that much fun with it. So it's not something I've gone back and played. So there may be bits in the level that needed this and I've forgotten it. But are there any parts in the level in the various levels where you need to use the powers to progress?
There's only one instance I can think of, and that's in Trip Story, which is the sort of the hard mode of the game, which you unlock when you complete the game. There's one instance I can think of where you need to use the multiply power up thing, but other than that, no, because it doesn't know whether you've got all the emeralds or not at any point before that.
Oh yeah, of course.
So you could just completely ignore the emeralds, and then you wouldn't have them, and you wouldn't be able to use them. So
I didn't think of that. That seems a bit of an oversight, really.
A little bit, yeah.
But I mean, they could have had it. They could have done it like. Angel Island Zone, where if you play with Knuckles, you can access a different route of the level.
There are instances like that where there are extra things you can, like whenever you go to a point where you need to use it, or you can use it, a little icon flashes up, and then you can press the button and you'll start using it.
I have.
And there's little bonus areas and things you can do there. But I wouldn't say they're routes as such, but there's extra bits.
Yeah, you're right. It does. Yeah, you do get the little thing.
Yeah, but they're just to get an extra coin or something, which you use in the battle mode thing. So
I didn't even try the battle mode, to be honest.
I did try it. It's not very good. It's not worth messing around with, really. It's cool that you can build your own sort of mecha character. I did like that, but the actual gameplay isn't. Like I got, because I'm not normally subscribed to Nintendo Online, but I did the free trial. I didn't realise I had a free trial. I thought I'd used it, but I got another one, so I tried it. Another thing I played actually on that is F-Zero. That F-Zero 99.
Oh yeah.
I'll do that in a minute. But I tried the battle mode like a week after getting the game, and even then there were like 3 other people in there, and the rest of them were all bots. So I think it just hasn't done that well. But we did play the co-op, because I played with Alice on the co-op. It's all right. It's kind of fun. It is a bit finicky and a bit buggy. It's sometimes it finds it difficult to know which player to keep track of once one of them goes off screen.
There we go. We knew it would happen. It's just reminded me the other game I played. No, not steering wheel. No.
I was going to say, how did you get steering wheel from that?
No, I remember the game. We'll get to it.
All right. Write it down in your notes before you
Yes,
forget.
I will.
What was I saying?
You were saying it doesn't know. It gets a bit confused about which character you're
most of the time it gets it right, but when it doesn't get it right, especially when you're playing with an inexperienced player like I was, is a bit annoying. Like, she would just keep, at one point she would just keep falling off and dying, and the camera would just always keep tracking her, and even though I was still up there, and but things like that. But it's kind of, if you can get, and we played 3-player, all 3 of us at one point, and that was quite fun. If you can get everyone to run at the same, at the same pace and throw along with each other, it's quite satisfying. But it's a hard ask, because as soon as one of you jumps over something and the other one doesn't, you lose them pretty quickly.
Yeah. I was going to say, because the levels are basically designed with sort of forward motion in mind, aren't they? So...
They are, and in a way I'm glad that they haven't compromised that just to fit in with the 4 players, because they could have easily designed those levels to make sure that doesn't happen, but then they wouldn't feel like proper Sonic levels, would they?
No.
So I'm kind of glad that they didn't do that. So if you're going to focus on one thing, I'm glad they focus on the single player experience more than the co-op. But
yeah,
it's an interesting experience. It's quite similar to when you play co-op in Mario in the the Mario games that we were talking about. Yeah, it's all right. But in general, I did enjoy it.
It was I think it's a mixed bag for me. I liked the levels. I like the level design, and like you say, it's so good not to just have Green Hill, Chemical Plant, Flying Battery, or all the same ones that they visit over and over.
Yeah.
It was nice to have some actual new zones and some new ideas coming along the pipe.
Yeah.
I love the badniks. I really hope they keep designing weird, nice badniks.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about the bosses.
Yeah, I like them because I found them they're really tough, but I found them quite fair, to be honest.
Yeah.
They're interesting, they're different. I died at quite a lot, but that was good because it kind of extended the life of the game a little bit. So I never felt like I died unfairly, which is quite easy to do in a boss in general. So I liked them. I thought they were good.
I thought they weren't bad. I think I might get a bit impatient with repeated plays, because it's not like the old Sonic games. You could just, like, if you were well versed enough in the patterns, you could just go in and hammer the boss in about 2 minutes.
That is the one. That is the one thing they're lacking. They like to carry out their sequence, and if you hit them once, you can't hit them again until they're ready for it in the sequence.
Yeah.
Whereas in the old ones, you could just go in and bash, and it does miss out on that satisfying bit.
Yeah.
They are quite long.
I've seen a lot of people complain about the multi-stage bosses, but I quite like the idea of I quite like the multi-stage thing of it. I wish you had a bit more freedom to just go in there and bang, 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 bang. But they're not too bad, and they're quite inventive little boss battles. They're not just again going back to the whole thing of Robotnik coming in and swinging a wrecking ball around.
Yeah, they're all stuff that I haven't seen before, which is great.
Yeah.
And just to shout out to the fact that they got the physics right, pretty much, for a change. They obviously understood that it's kind of important, and it felt right. Like there was no point where I felt like, oh, this doesn't feel right, apart from the speed of the spin dash, maybe. But other than that, I felt that it felt good. It felt good to play. It felt familiar.
Yeah, I don't know if I would agree that it's spot on, but it's pretty close. It's certainly the best it's been for a long time. Obviously, Sonic Mania is the gold standard. I don't think it's up to Sonic Mania standard, but it's pretty blooming close.
It's the next best thing, I think.
Yeah,
the next closest they've got.
Yeah, definitely. Apart from Knuckles.
Yeah.
Knuckles always gets the short end of the stick, don't they? They made him look horrible in Sonic Boom.
Yeah.
And now they're making him
look a bit weird. Yeah.
All weird.
Yeah, he does a bit, doesn't he?
I mean, echidnas are pretty weird anyway. But
if they look like this, they do. Yeah.
Well, yeah. They lay eggs.
I was really annoyed when I was a kid when I actually discovered what an echidna really looks like.
I know.
In fact, he doesn't look anything like Knuckles.
I know.
I was expecting like a little rodent with dreadlocks.
I was going to say, they haven't found a single one with dreadlocks in real life yet.
What's that about?
I know, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, especially given how accurate Sonic was to the real hedgehog.
Of course, yeah.
Unbelievable. But yeah, it's not bad. Like I say, I think a lot of I wouldn't say I'm negative towards it, but I didn't enjoy it as much as I wanted to, and I think I've just got the big spectre of Sonic Mania hanging over me.
I think that's your problem. I think that's what you need to let go of.
That's what I want. I want more of that.
Personally, I've kind of made my peace with that, I think.
Never. Never.
I just think, for all we know, Evening Star wanted to do something else, and they're doing something else now. So it might the fact that we don't have a Sonic Mania 2 might just be the fact that they didn't want to do one. And would you honestly want anyone else to do another Sonic Mania 2? Would you want Sega themselves to do a Sonic Mania 2? Because they probably won't get it right.
Oh no.
This is the thing. So maybe it's best left as it is. Next time I'd like to see them do a new art style, like a hand-drawn art style, like a Rayman Origins, Rayman Legends. I think that'd be quite lovely. Nice.
Yeah.
I think they need to think about doing something like that next for classic Sonic, because I think that would look quite nice and give it a distinct look.
Yeah, well, look, it works wonders with like Yoshi's Woolly World Wonderland.
Yeah,
it's called.
It works when you change things up like that.
Yeah, and Kirby's done it a load of times. And
Kirby's constantly doing it, isn't he?
Kirby's always doing it, and it works brilliantly. So I'd love a hand-drawn style one. That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say pick it up, not for 50 quid.
Not for £55, no.
£55.
I got it for about 40 because it was 50 on. I got the Switch version, by the way.
Yeah, I did as well.
Yeah. Which runs really well, actually. 60 frames per second, pretty nice.
It does. I got a bit of jerkiness on the loading screens, but
that's all.
Who cares?
Yeah, it's fine. Otherwise, it's
the game itself runs perfect.
Yeah, I was impressed. Yeah, I got it for 40 quid, I think, on Game Collection because I used £10 credit.
No, I got it for 50. Yeah.
I did have a bit of fun with that actually, because the post in my area at the moment is absolutely dreadful. Like they've got like not enough staff at the post office, so you don't get your post for ages. So obviously I was umming and ahhing about this because and Game Collection send it track 24. And we've been getting things, track 24 things, when we expect them within 24 hours. So I thought it's going to be fine. Of course, it doesn't turn up on the day I expect it to. So I thought, what I'm going to do. So I went down to Asda and bought a £50 copy there. Game Collection one turns up on the Friday. So I don't touch that version. I take that back to Asda and get my 50 quid back. So I've got Asda's copy, but I've paid Game Collection for it.
This doesn't sound legal.
I'm sure it's fine.
No,
I'm returning a copy to Asda. They get a copy back. It's mint condition. I haven't touched it. I haven't opened it, obviously.
No,
it's all good.
Tell it to the judge. Tell it to the judge.
Objection.
Objection. We've ruined it. We should have talked about this just before we talked about Phoenix Wright.
It's fine. Everyone knows about
supposed to be professionals.
Everyone knows about objection, don't they? In Phoenix Wright. That's like a known thing.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't have any news. I was going to talk about F-Zero 99.
F-Zero, yeah.
I don't have much to say about it, to be honest, but it's quite fun. It's good. I liked it. I got a little bit hooked on it for a couple of days. It's good. It's just 99 people having an F-Zero race. It's quite nice. I did quite well. I think the best I got was like 30 something. I think 30 odd. That's quite impressive, isn't it? Yeah. There's like Grand Prix and things, and there's like different events and stuff like that. And, they've done it quite well. Yeah. It's quite enjoyable. Yeah.
We were talking on the last episode about how. A bit cynical about how these 99 games always get shut down.
Yeah.
It turns out Mario, because it's not. I said it was Mario 99. It's not Mario. It's Mario 35.
Yes, it is.
There is actually a fan version of a fan private server.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So if you've got a Switch capable of running homebrew, you can actually patch the game to connect to a server and still play it today.
That's really good. Did Nintendo know about this?
I think they do, because the GitHub's been made private. So, yeah.
Now that you've said it, because everyone listens to our show.
Oh yeah. Miyamoto himself
is a regular
listens
listener
to this show. So we're told.
Yeah.
But I made that up.
It needs verifying. Yeah.
Citation needed. The other game I played.
Yeah. Go on.
Alien Hominid Invasion.
Oh yeah.
It's good, but I ain't got a bloody clue what's happening.
So Alien Hominid, I've played Alien Hominid. That's like a shoot. What's it called? Run and gun.
Yeah, run and gun, side-scrolling shooter. I played it way back when it was on Newgrounds, like way back in the day.
Oh, wow.
It was like a Flash game on Newgrounds.
I played it on the 360 on Xbox Live.
It's basically that. It's basically the same game, but you play it multiplayer with, I don't know, I like 4 or 5 other people, and you're all on the screen at the same time, and you're all shooting, and there's explosions going off, and I don't know which one my bloke is. I don't know which one my little guy is. I don't know what's happening. You've got to pick up. You shoot some of the bad guys, and they will drop papers, and you've got to take the papers and put it in a fax machine that turns into a rocket and shoots off into the sky.
Okay.
There's a kid who's eating an ice cream, and you've got to take him an ice cream, and it's mad. I've got no idea what's going on with it, and I played it online, and I made it through like the first few levels, and like there's like it takes you back to like a world map screen after each level, and you can choose. You've got to work your way through the map to get to the enemy base at the end, and you storm the base at the end. But you can choose what route you take. So some levels are obviously going to be more challenging, but you get more loot for doing that one, or you get less challenging ones, but you don't get as much loot for it. So you've got to work your way through and decide what path you want to take. But in between each level, it takes you back to that world map screen, and it's got like a little chat room. And all these, I presume they must be kids, because I bought the game the day after it came out, and I played it for about an hour, and my character was up to about level 8. I'm in this lobby with people there level 127, level 250, and they're all there giving it all this lingo like, oh yeah, my next alien build's gonna be, gonna buff it with the, the jump buff and all this. I don't know. I literally felt like the oldest man in the world. It's, again, I don't want to keep referencing memes, but it's like that whole, are you winning, son? As a guy comes through the door, seeing his kid on the computer, and he just,
yeah.
Are you winning, son? That's how I felt. Like I guess we won because I'm still here. I don't know. It's a very confusing game. Just watch some gameplay of it. It's the maddest thing on legs.
Okay.
But yeah, that's that.
Oh right, I might steer clear of that actually.
Yeah.
You haven't sold it to me.
No.
No. All right, fair enough. I don't have any news. I don't know if you do.
I did.
Steering wheel. I'm going to keep bringing it up to try and jog your memory of what it is.
I remember what it was.
I really want to know what the
steering wheel
thing was.
Steering wheel. Honestly, this is why I failed all my exams. No. What news? What news is there? There was some news in the news. I don't know.
I don't know.
Let's skip it.
Yeah, let's skip it. We've talked enough about games and stuff so far.
I'm going to say no one listens to us for their news updates.
I
really.
think it's the part of the show that ages the most quickly, because if you come to this episode like several months or years down the line, nothing that we say in the news is going to be relevant to you anymore.
No, most of the news we talk about is about 2 months old anyway.
It's
by the time
behind the times. By the time we get the episode out, yeah.
Incoming indie.
So I've got one incoming indie to talk about before we move on to Phoenix. So this is called Promenade. It's a 2D platformer. It's actually a collectathon. And you don't really get many 2D collectathons. They're almost always 3D for some reason. So it stuck out to me just for that reason alone. You play as this little boy, quite a colourful sort of drawn world, very simplistic graphics, but quite a nice style. Gameplay mechanics wise, it's quite similar to Klonoa. You've got this kind of pink splodgy thing that sits on your back, and you sort of throw them out, and you can grab enemies and grab objects and bring them back to you. You hold them, and then you can throw them downwards to do a double jump, just like Klonoa.
Oh, like Klonoa, yeah.
Yeah, you can use it to solve puzzles as well. Like in the trailer, he gets like droplets of water and drops them on leaves and makes them grow and things like that. So there's a demo on Steam which I've been playing with a few different levels in it. It's been quite a nice sort of thing to do after a long session of Phoenix Wright. I've been quite enjoying doing that for the last couple of nights. Quite nice just exploring, seeing what collectibles you can find and things like that. Sometimes they're in kind of hard to reach places. Sometimes you've got to do a little race to get one. At one point there was like a jigsaw piece with a bit of level scenery in it, and you have to go and find where it would go in the scenery. Do you know what I mean? Like with the layers scrolling parallax, you have to sort of get in just the right position to put that jigsaw piece in, and you get the little piece, which is quite a nice little idea, I thought. It's coming out on everything that's currently available in February next year, and some physicals are coming too.
Oh yeah, nice. I just having a look now. Yeah, it's got a PS4
so
version.
Name again is Promenade. Look it
Promenade.
up. It's quite nice.
Yeah, I like that. I like that art style.
It's quite nice, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Might get that.
Jolly juggling, it says.
Yeah.
That's good. Oh, it's got look at that little crab.
Yeah. Some nice little character designs and things.
I like crabs as well. That's good.
Yeah.
Look at him. Oh, that's brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm up for that. Yeah, sign me up.
It's good. All good. Cool. All right, so let's take a little break, and then after that we're going to talk about Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney.
The Video Game Book Club.
Objection!
Welcome back. You are now listening to us talking about Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. This was developed and published by Capcom. The original version was actually released exclusively in Japan for the Game Boy Advance in October 2001. It seems way older than you think it is, isn't it, this game? Yeah. But the better known version was released internationally on the Nintendo DS in October 2005 in the US and March 2006 in Europe. So its popularity has led to further ports and compilation appearances on a variety of platforms over the years, including Windows, Nintendo Wii, iOS, 3DS, Switch, PS4 and Xbox One. So this is a visual novel adventure game that puts you in the role of a defense attorney as he attempts to prove his client's innocence over 5 separate cases by investigating crime scenes and cross-examining witness testimonies. It was directed and written by Shu Takumi, who later go on to do the same for podemup award winner Ghost Trick Phantom Detective, of course. Takumi's boss supposedly gave him 6 months to make any game he wanted with the aid of only 6 people. And after it was translated for a global audience for the DS, its success spawned multiple sequels and is often thought to be responsible for popularizing visual novel story games outside of Japan.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a big deal.
Yeah. Still didn't release all of them over here, though, did they? No.
Did they not?
No.
Oh.
No, they didn't. There's a few little spin-offs that were Japanese only.
Oh, okay. We'll get to all those at the end, I think. Cover some of the sequels. I love this. It's brilliant.
It's brilliant, isn't it?
It's such a good game.
Yeah, it's so good.
I haven't got anywhere near to finishing it, I must say. I've done the tutorial case, I've done the case number 2, and I'm about halfway through case 3.
Okay.
It's a really long game.
It is.
And I've tried to get through it as quickly as I can, but time just ran away from me at the end there.
Ah, okay.
But I'm hoping I've got enough of an idea of how it works to discuss it. And hopefully I'm not missing too much important stuff to discuss.
Not important stuff, but there is a certain character who pops up, shall we say a podemup favourite character who makes an appearance.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes.
Oh, so I think I'll probably continue playing, and if I can play it, if I can finish it before the Podemup Awards, then perhaps we'll find out who that is.
We'll revisit, yeah.
Okay, so it's split into 5 separate sort of linear cases, which I thought was quite unusual, really. It's not usually in a game you get a whole story from beginning to end, and it's all one long thing. But this, and I don't know, but I'm assuming they're all the cases are quite separate, more or less, almost like episodes of a TV show.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, there are threads that run through them and reoccurring elements, so it does all sort of tie together.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, you could just pick them up as their own individual episodes.
Yeah, it's interesting. So the gameplay is kind of divided between like these investigative sequences and courtroom cross-examinations, and they both involve a heavy amount of dialogue between Phoenix and other characters. So the scene, visually, it's quite simple, because you can tell it's played by 6 people because it's quite simplistic. Scenes are all static backgrounds. It's got characters over the top of them. They're sort of very lightly animated. It's mostly sort of static poses and things that with very small amount of animation. But what they get out of that is incredible, isn't it?
Oh, it is. Yeah.
It's just they've got so much character in those images. It's just it more than makes up for it, really.
Yeah, definitely. I think. It's obviously, I assume Shu Takumi is responsible for the majority of the creative direction of this game.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Because it feels, you can see, Ghost Trick has got a lot of Phoenix Wright in it, I think, and Phoenix Wright's, obviously it came before it, but
you can clearly see it all came from the same person, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And I think he's just really good at characters. He's just really good at conceiving these really fleshed out, really likeable characters.
Yeah, there's something about them. It's just the way they look, the way they talk.
Even the adversaries, even like your opponents in the courtroom. You're the prosecutor.
Yeah.
Some of them they were just really good characters. They're just really likable, and the judge and everything is just they're really. I love them. They're so good.
Apparently, there's parts of it that he rewrote time and time again just to get it right, and not just the characters, but also the layout of all the clues and everything, and how everything sort of builds up. And you can kind of tell because it's just perfect, isn't it? A lot of it.
Yeah.
So you've got the investigative sections where you kind of go around, examine a crime scene and pick out clues, and you talk to the people involved in the case and things like that, and you gather some evidence, and then it goes to the courtroom sections, where there's a witness who claims to have seen a murder, but more often than not their testimonies are flawed, to say the least.
Yeah.
And you've got to wheedle out the lies using the evidence that you've accumulated in the investigative scenes. As I say, it strikes me that when I was writing all the notes, it strikes me that on paper, if you just describe the game in the basic text, it sounds like the most boring game ever.
I know, it does. And I avoided the game for so long, because I remember when it came out, and there's like a big advertising campaign for it and stuff, and it just didn't appeal to me. I just thought, it doesn't sound very interesting. Yeah,
you play as a lawyer, solving,
just
arguing with people, and it's just I don't want to do that. Yeah,
I kind of thought it would just be I thought it would be a bit like Cluedo.
Yeah,
to be honest. And I like Cluedo. Cluedo's great when you've got a bunch of friends around a table.
Sure.
But computer Cluedo is the most boring thing in the world. It's just it doesn't.
I've not had the pleasure of computer Cluedo. I must admit.
Honestly, there's nothing worse. And I thought, I thought it was going to be like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I was so wrong. And I will say, I don't know if you felt the same way. I felt like the investigation sections are the weakest part of the game now.
They're weaker. just because there's just a bit less excitement in them.
There's a bit less excitement, and sometimes it feels a bit like one of those hidden object games where you just end up clicking every pixel on the screen until you activate the one that will proceed the story a bit.
Oh yeah, definitely. You're constantly looking for, okay, how do I do the next bit, and how do I get to the next bit? Also, in the second case, which is the samurai one, where you're going around the movie lot, just going from place to place was a bit of a chore, because you can't. You're in a place and then you pull up a menu and say, okay, go to this next place, but you can't. They're all connected in a certain string. Like, you have to go to one place and then do it to the next place and then for the next place. And it's a bit of a if I had to level a criticism, that's the only significant one I can think of, and it's not.
That's the only thing that I think lets the game. No, it doesn't even let it down.
No, it doesn't come anywhere near letting it down, but it slows it down a bit.
Yeah, the cut and thrust of the game is the courtroom, and whenever it finishes, I'm always just wanting to get back to the courtroom again. It's just like, okay. Look, can we go back to court, please?
It's just so fun. Like, you've got this person on the stand, and they're clearly lying, but you have to go through every bit of their statement, and you've got an option to, like, press them for more information, which sort of progresses the story a little bit. And sometimes they say, oh, actually it was like this, and they change their testimony and do things like that. And then you've got the present option, where you present a piece of evidence, and you've got to select the exact right bit in their testimony. You say, okay, that bit, this evidence proves that you're lying, and that's where the objection thing comes out. Objection.
Yeah.
And then he starts, actually, I've got evidence to say is that you're a liar.
Yeah,
and it's just so rewarding. And
I was going to say, it's one of the best feelings in gaming, honestly,
it's
where
really good.
You finally, especially if you're not sure, you kind of got it in your head, right, this, but when you finally get that evidence and that music kicks in,
it's all about the aesthetics there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because suddenly you feel like you're playing like a boss, like a normal game, because that energetic music comes in, and there's like these flashes and these hit sounds and these and when the person that is on the stand, their pose changes from like a fully composed to like one of absolute terror, and
like their wigs fly off, and
it's ridiculous.
It's so over the top,
but it's so characterful. It's really over the top, but in a great, really satisfying way. Like there's, in the first case, you've got the Red White, who's this guy who owns people everywhere, because he's got a business where he investigates people with their secrets, and gets their secrets, and then he blackmails them basically against them. So he's got everyone's pocket, including the judge, so everything feels really stacked up against you. But then, and he's got that pose where he flashes all those rings, and you think, oh God, I hate that guy, he's so annoying. And then you bring out the evidence, and then he's like, what? And his like face drops, and he's like, it does that thing where the pupils are really, really tiny, like he's really surprised.
Yeah.
Oh, it's brilliant just to see.
And the reactions of the prosecutor as well, the sort of frustration and sort of despair on their faces as they realise they're losing it. It's great.
Because he's always trying to say, oh yeah, don't mention this bit, and then just focus on this bit, and just we'll hide that bit of evidence, and then see his face when it actually comes out.
Yeah,
it's amazing. Yeah. Oh, it's so good. Like I say, on paper it just seems so dull, but when you play it, it really is like nothing else I've played, really.
Yeah, it is. It's it's what we always pick these games where I want to say more, but I don't want to spoil it for people, and especially with a game that's so reliant on evidence, and a lot of the joy is from finding it and piecing it together yourself.
Yeah.
I don't want to say too much, but yes, the cases themselves, it's got that same kind of storytelling that we find in Ghost Trick, where seemingly innocuous bits of information all kind of tie together in the, and when it all comes together at the end in this sort of perfect jigsaw, it's just so well done. It's so well crafted.
Just to sort of go over some of the kind of more gameplay-ish mechanics. I mean, when you raise these objections, when you show this evidence, you've actually got a limited number of lives to do that.
Yeah.
So I thought was interesting, like, so that you can't just keep going and just saying, try this evidence. Oh no, it didn't work. Try this evidence. You've got a limited number of times in which you can do that. And I actually ran them out initially because I didn't understand the system. Like, I didn't understand that you had to go to a particular statement that the witness is making in order to show them that evidence. I thought you could just do it anywhere. So, oh yeah, they've mentioned that, I'll just show this. And I kept getting it right. They kept saying, no, that's not relevant, so I'll lose a life. And I'm like, what? It's relevant.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of... Yeah, you've got to work exactly according to the logic that the game wants you to do. There's things that will make sense to you, and anyone out, in real life, it would obviously make sense. But the game, you've got to work to what the game wants you to do, which can be a little bit frustrating.
That's the only thing about the game, because it feels, the way the story is told, it feels like you're really immersed in it, so that you can reveal this information when you want to. But actually, underneath all of that, there's a sort of a strict structure in place that you don't quite, it's there, but you don't feel it sometimes, and you feel like you can just do whatever you want, but you have to follow these rules, as you say. Yeah, so that's another frustrating bit about it. But again, it's not that, you sort of get it, and you kind of, after a while. Just also some of the names of the characters, I loved Wendy Oldbag.
Wendy Oldbag.
It was whatever you're picturing now. That is literally it. It's just an old woman who's not very nice. And then you've got the geeky guy, the director, who's called Sal Manella.
It's like that through the whole series. There's one on the 3DS. There's like a bomb diffuser. His name's Ted Tonate. Ted Tonate.
I don't know about you, but I'm a real sucker for these gag names.
I know.
I love them. I could have them all day. They're fantastic.
And what was the on the tutorial level? The tutorial case. I can't remember what his first name is, but his surname Saw It.
Yeah, something like that. Saw it, as in he's the witness. He saw it.
Yeah, John saw it.
Something like that. Yeah,
I love it. Yeah, Dick Gumshoe, the detective.
Oh, he's great. Yeah, I love, because he's a really sort of bumbling detective, and it doesn't take much for him to give you, just hand over vital pieces of evidence and people's autopsy results, and and it's just so funny.
It is. Yeah, I would say as well. I mean, there's a lot of sequels to the game, obviously, and I think the gameplay gets more complex in the later ones as well.
Okay, yeah, go on then.
So like there's I think it might be the next game. I think it's Trials and Tribulations or Justice for All. It's one of the next games in the series. You get the Cyclock ability, where you can sort of psychically examine someone, and it's represented by the person stood there with loads of chains over them with little locks on them. And you have to work through these locks to determine whether someone is hiding something, whether they're trying to keep a secret from you or not.
Right.
And you can actually, it can really affect the game whether you successfully unlock them or whether you miss something and they're all still hiding something from you. It just adds like an extra layer to the investigation levels, so that so it's not just there's still a lot of the just pixel hunting, but it just adds a little bit more of the court style gameplay to the investigation bit, which I think that's a really good addition to the sequels. But
obviously they thought the same thing that we did about that section could do with a little bit more beefing up.
Just spice it up a bit.
Yeah, there's so much more I want to talk about, but I don't want to talk about it really because
I know.
Yeah,
we're gonna have to pick some games that can't be spoiled, aren't we?
Yeah. Well, we do sometimes, like more simple games, but a game like this is gonna.
We'll do Gran Turismo next month.
Gran Turismo, can't spoil that, can you? He gets the princess in the end.
I mean, we laugh, but they've done a movie about it, haven't they? So
that's right, yeah.
I've not seen it, but
I don't think there's a princess in it.
No,
probably.
I bet he wins. I bet he wins at the end.
Tell you what is there in it though, Tibbs?
What's that?
A steering wheel.
Oh no! It wasn't Gran Turismo. No, I've not played Gran Turismo.
It can't be Gran Turismo.
It can't be Gran Turismo.
No, surely not.
No. Was it Mario? No, it couldn't have been Mario Kart because some of the new courses came out, but I don't know. I don't know.
If you think of it within the next sort of week or so before the episode gets out, we will have to get together and
record. We'll do it.
It's going to piss everyone else off as well if we don't get to the bottom of what this bloody steering wheel was about.
No, steering wheel.
It's going to be something really not worth it. I was
going to say it's going to be something not worth it. It could have been something I saw in the news, in gaming news, something about. I don't know.
There was that thing that Xbox said we're not going to allow third-party controllers anymore.
Yeah, I was thinking, is it something to do with that? But then why steering wheel? Why not just
do you have any steering wheels?
Yeah,
you do.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have a Series X anyway, do you? So it wouldn't affect you enough to write.
I don't know. I will figure it out.
It's going to be one of those podemup mysteries, a bit like the souvenirs. Did you ever find that? What game that was?
I've never found out what that is.
No.
And we still talk about it now. It came up the other day.
Oh, really? Do you?
Yeah, she said, did anyone ever email in about the souvenirs? I said, no.
No, of course not.
Souvenirs?
Yeah. One of those mysteries, podemup mysteries.
The deep lore of podemup.
Yeah, okay. Anything else you want to talk about the game?
No, like I say, I mean, we'd be going into spoilers. There was a certain character who I wanted to get your take on, but you haven't reached that point yet. So
I know. Sorry about that.
Yeah,
it's quite a long because I've put about nearly 10 hours into it. I think. I think I'm quite a slow player in general with games.
I think it can be quite a long game though. I mean, I first played it on the 3DS, and it was shortly after I started the job where I am now. But I'm working. When I was working at all the offices have moved since then, but the first office where I was working, it's a 2-hour commute on the bus there, 2-hour commute on the bus back. And I used to just play that the whole way and play it the whole way back. And it kept me going for a long time. It's not like I did it in a couple of days. It's quite a chunky game. Yeah,
the cases take hours, to go through. So, sorry, I've done my best. Couldn't quite get there.
No, it's a lot to get through.
I'm going to try though before the next episode. Try and get through. Some more of it.
Yeah, it's just a little character that pops up, and you'll go, "Hey!" as soon as they appear.
The person, yeah. Okay, cool. Anything else you want to say about the subsequent games after that?
Just play them all. There's a lot of Phoenix Wright games. There's another character who won't have appeared yet, but there's a character, Apollo Justice, who pops up. He gets his own spin-off game as well. I think I'm pretty sure actually. What's his name? Who's the other one? Is it Edgeworth?
Yeah, Miles Edgeworth. Yeah.
Miles Edgeworth. I'm pretty sure that's the games I'm thinking of that didn't get
Oh, okay.
Translated.
He's got his own game.
Yeah, Miles Ace Attorney, Miles Edgeworth Investigations.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure there were 2 of them. I think the first one got localized and the second one didn't. I think there was a sequel to the game. Ace Attorney Investigations 2 was released in Japan on the 3rd of February. There are currently no plans for Capcom to release it internationally, but a fan translation has been made and released on the internet.
Right. Okay.
They would like to make a 3rd Investigations game, and they needed to secure Capcom personnel and plan everything out in future, but could not make any promises. So, there is there's all sorts of spin-off games for different characters, and there's a series of I think it's going to be a new series where it's set in ancient Japan as well, where you play sort of a. I don't know if it's an ancestor of Phoenix Wright, but it's it's all sort of feudal Japan courtroom cases and things like that. So there's loads to get your teeth into in the series if you enjoy it and you like that sort of thing. There's so much to, you're not going to run out of things to play.
Yeah, because I've never played a game in this genre before, really, like this sort of what do you call it, visual novel kind of thing. But yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think another game it shares. It's not exactly the same, but shares that kind of style. Is Danganronpa, and I think we should cover that on maybe not this year. That's maybe one for next year because we're getting a bit close to the end of the year now.
Well, there's only one episode left.
Only one episode left. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I think if you enjoyed this, I think you'll enjoy Danganronpa. So we should probably pencil that in for next year sometime. But yeah. I would say to everyone, go play it, have a good time.
And it's on, everything at the moment, really, isn't it? You can get it on Steam, like the trilogy of the original trilogy. Is that how you played this on this one?
On this one, I did. Yeah, I can't remember actually, because obviously when I played it, I just played it normally. But if you play it on the DS, I don't know if the other versions have this feature. But on the DS, you can actually use the microphone to shout objection. I
saw, because I played the DS version emulated, but I saw it had there was a Y button and that little microphone symbol.
Yeah.
And I did wonder, what's that for?
Yeah, you press that and
you just shout objection.
You just shout objection, and then it will do it for you. Yeah.
That's a great idea, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great. Like I say, when I played it on the bus, the passengers loved that.
I bet they did. Yeah, I bet.
I was that guy who kept shouting objection. It's a bit of a local celeb.
Shouting objection into his little device.
Yeah.
So my pick is next.
Yeah.
Last time it was my pick, I gave you the choice between a Japan-only first-party Nintendo game, which ended up being Captain Rainbow. The other option I had, which you didn't pick, was a licensed game that's either got a very good reputation or a very bad reputation.
Okay.
So we're going to go with that one this time.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be pleased to know that the reputation is very good.
Oh.
This is a game for the GameCube, PS2, Xbox era.
And it's licensed?
Licensed game, so it doesn't narrow the field down much, does it? But I can tell you, this will narrow it down. The license in question is The Simpsons.
Oh,
we're playing The Simpsons Hit and Run.
Oh, I was going to say Road Rage, but
no, that's the other one. It could have been.
That's the other one, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hit and Run, which is, as far as I understand, I've never played it, but GTA Springfield is basically what it is. I think,
yeah.
Have you played it before?
I've got it, but I haven't played it.
Oh, great. Okay, well, that should be good then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Well, that's what we'll be doing next time.
Yeah. Nice.
It's supposed to be pretty good. It's got quite a fan following. I've always noticed on Twitter, people are always trying to remake it and things like that, and ask for an official remake and stuff like that, which so it hasn't come to be. But
it's quite good because I think about realistically maybe 30 or 40% of my day-to-day speech is just references to The Simpsons.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
So
it's going to be quite good, isn't it? You can get them all out and get them all out in the next episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so we'll catch us there for the last episode of the year next month. We'll also be doing the Podemup Awards. We've got 10 games to assess. Before we do that, I must get round to doing a little application that I can use to put all the games and the scores in, and it will just tally it up for me. Because every year I have trouble, don't I?
Yeah.
Doing it with a little pen and paper. I'm going to move to the 21st century, and I'm going to do it with a little system that I'm going to script up.
I was going to say, I mean, you're the programmer of the two of us. I mean, you should be able to do this. I'm not going to volunteer my efforts.
I think I can do it. I will try it out. Hopefully there won't be any bugs, and it will just get the results, and then I can read them out in reverse order, and it'll all be a surprise when I read it out. So, yeah, I'm going to try and do that.
Brilliant.
Before we get there, you can get in touch with us on email, podemup@gmail.com. On Twitter, we are @podemup, and podemup.live is our website where you can listen to all our past episodes whenever you want.
Yeah.
You can also find us anywhere good podcasts are available, including TerraPlayer.com.
TerraPlayer.
Which has an app out now, I believe, although I think you can't get podcasts on it just yet, but I'm sure that's in the pipeline. You can listen to radio music, video game music stations on there and stuff like that. So it's good. It's a good service. Go and check it out. Loads of podcasts on the web version.
Everywhere he goes, TerraPlayer has some podcasts. Plays them on the show and listens every day. It's TerraPlayer.
Well, I mean, we can get in touch with the person who runs TerraPlayer and see if they want to get us into recording session for a jingle. I don't know. We are available, to
Always
do that.
Available.
We might get sued by the Bodger and Badger company in the process, but
the Bodger and Badger
the Bodger
company.
and Badger Corporation.
Bodger and Badger LLC.
Yeah, they are known for they're notorious for stamping down on copyright issues. They're so litigious.
And no one outside of the UK is going to have any idea what Bodger and Badger is, and then they're going to Google it, and they're going to look at it, and they're going to think, what?
We're not going to tell them, by the way. You go and Google it. We're not going to tell you what it is.
No.
That's for you to find out.
I'd tell you, there's got to be a Bodger and Badger game, surely. Hang on. Bodger and Badger video game. There's got to be. No! What?
It's the sort of Game Boy Advance DS era where little kids shows get games made for them, I think. Like Bodger and Badger is like 90s, isn't it? They wouldn't have made a Mega Drive Bodger and Badger game, I don't think.
No, I was thinking that there might be something like on the Amstrad or Commodore.
Oh, maybe,
or something.
Yeah, that's true. Yes, that's probably where you'd find it if it was around, wouldn't it? Yeah.
I'm going to have a look. If I can find a Bodger and Badger game, then we will cover that.
We'll cover it in the book club.
On a book club.
Okay,
Brilliant.
it's a deal.
Okay.
All right, well, we'll see you next time then. Thanks for
then.
listening, and catch you there. Bye-bye.
Bye.
He'll be fine. I hope Asda aren't listening. Sorry, Asda. Anyway.
This will be the one episode where we've got the CEO from Asda and Miyamoto both listening at the same time. Shut down.